Here's a fact that some doctors won't know, and this is a sad fact. Okay, so with about women and men, with women, they're very attractive. Now, the doctors and your universities will say that humans and women have are attractive for that one special occasion when they eventually breed. All right, so now they're looking to breed. Now, but the problem with breeding is that we only breed once a lifetime, maybe twice on average. So, so all of this attractiveness in a woman is aimed at two breeding sessions throughout their whole life, and this is wrong. This is incorrect. So in the animal kingdom, you've got animals that don't have this attractiveness that the humans do, but they're still attracted to each other. They do it through smell and scent and stuff like that. That gets them going basically, and they give off a certain scent, and then that's the attractiveness from the animal kingdom. That is, so then they breed, and then otherwise they're not interested in each other because they look rather gnarly to each other. They're not attracted to each other like the human races are. Okay, you meet a beautiful woman, and there's a few other things going through your mind, but there's also hello. Now, basically, with the humans, you have a beautiful woman. Now, she's not gnarly looking like in the animal world. So there's something about her beauty that is beyond breeding, just for the once in a lifetime. There's more to it. She's, for instance, not gnarly through the day. She's completely stunningly beautiful, whoever she is. Like, doesn't matter. Attractiveness is works on many levels. It starts off with affection, and then it goes into all types of departments. But basically, what makes a person attractive is all women are roughly attractive, basically, to a man. Right? She has all the qualities that attracts men. Now, the reason that she's attractive 24/7, whereas the animals are not so attractive, is because the humans and that attractiveness is all about something else. It's not about breeding. It's not actually about breeding. It's about something else, and this is where the doctors have got it completely wrong. Actually, her attractiveness is about developing men's brain. All right. Now, when a man's brain is developed, she then becomes safe. See, the brain has one priority, and that is to keep people safe. It doesn't do anything else. It tries to do other stuff, doesn't do it very well. It's basically an eye system that keeps you safe on a number of levels. So attractiveness in a woman is basically there to develop our brain. Right now, our brains are more developed than the gnarly animals that are less attractive to each other, and they have sex a lot less. Right, they're like a sexless law society, and look at their mood. All right, now with women, they got all these beautiful attributes to them that are constantly there 24/7. So subconsciously, she's doing a lot more than wanting to breed. All right, because she only breeds once a lifetime. So why is she so beautiful all throughout her life? Right, it's because there's more to it. Right, she's doing this because the men are not keeping her safe, and through sex, it actually develops humanity. And humanity is not a crocodile, nor is it a hippo, nor is it a rhino and a chimp. All of them very unsociable, and always at war. So women's attractiveness has a goal and a purpose, and that is to connect with other men, and through this connection, she then becomes alerted to him. He won't be able to see her properly until there's a touch interaction going on, and then he can see her on a number of levels and on an emotional level, and he will now protect her. All right, now without connection, she is blind to him. Certainly he can see her with his eyes, but the doctors have got it wrong that your eyes are a very small part of your eyesight, and there's a whole lot more. Okay, now and with women's attractiveness, it's about brain development, not her brain, but the man's brain that then keeps her safe, because she feels unsafe. So when she's very beautiful, she is actually surrounded by a predator. Now that predator could be a number of things, could even be the weather, but we have all types of predators. If you ask the UK Reform Nigel Farage, they'll tell you their type of predator, and they're correct. They are a predator, right? And the women are scared, and they need interaction with men to keep them safe. Currently, they're not. Where I have a country full of predators right now. Okay, so attractiveness in a woman is to deflect, is to create a brain in a man that protects her. Currently, she's unprotected. She needs to encourage the extensions of attraction, which is basically Soho, sex world, coupling, and intimacy, connection, right? Because he is actually blind to her, and now her country is full of fucking problems. So the proof that women's attractiveness is very evident is proof that sex and the actual concept of sex is far more than procreation, and that she has this attractiveness every single day. It's like she never has a day off, right? So the subconscious that runs our bodies is basically telling us that she needs to apply herself with that attractiveness, and there's all types of attractiveness like affection, and all hugging, for instance, is very sorry. We have all types of attractiveness and affection that is being advertised by women's attractiveness. Now she is attractive 24/7, like throughout her life, right? Now so her subconscious is actually singing us a song right there and telling us something. It's informing us that more about our lives, about our purpose and who we really are, and where our future is. Our future actually lies in women's attractiveness, because they are the future. If you look at the chimpanzee or the hippo, for instance, not so attractive to each other. They don't rely on their own attractiveness. That's not what makes them. That's not what has evolved them to such an incredible species that the hippo is the most intelligent person in the world. You know, so they don't get involved in the attractiveness game, right? Whereas humans do. All right, now, so. The 24/7 attractiveness in a woman is a song by the subconscious, and the subconscious is saying that she needs to follow through that attractiveness 24/7, but not obviously 24/7, but you know, a whole lot more than once a lifetime. Okay, all right, now that's the science world. Okay, that's your subconscious. That your consciousness is a beggar in comparisons to your subconscious that created your body and runs it throughout your day and throughout the night. So sex is that connection that is leading and is led by a woman's attractiveness or a guy's attractiveness. So both are attractive to each other, but they're both ignored, and they're only to be applied once a lifetime. A bit like a chimpanzee, a bit like a hippo. They're exactly the same. Now let's look at their mood. Let's look at their evolution. Let's look at their future. Okay, so this is a note for women, an important note. Now, what happens when you don't get that connection with the opposite sex? Now, if you don't do that, what happens next is he's going to attack you because you're moving. You're moving your arms, you're walking around, you're talking to him. He's going to consider you as a threat because he doesn't know who you are. He certainly knows you on a number of levels, but does he really know you? And has he been beating you up like a crocodile? And the answer is yes. You see, so he can't see you, right? He is now threatened by you, and your life is in dire risk at that point. Okay, so with this connection, you're opposing this system. You're becoming human. You're a humanity system rather than an animal world that's gnarly when it comes to their views on togetherness and coupling. All right. Now, coupling is recreational. When you look at the attractiveness of a woman, certainly her attractiveness is recreational. It's not like it's not propping up once in her life. Suddenly she's attractive, and then suddenly she's back to being a gnarly animal, like the animal kingdom, with a very small brain too, very unpredictable, and their life is like a doctor, and like the lawyers, they are also in the animal kingdom. They are not with us, the human world, that believes in education, development, revolutions, change, updates. And this, my friends, is a medical update, like for the doctors who have got it completely wrong. Doctors are running the church. They're saying women's attractiveness must only lead to sex once in a lifetime, and anything else, and she's a whore. They got it completely wrong. Leave her alone. The guy saying that is a complete flipping hippo, chimp, giraffe, animal world. He needs to shut his mouth as soon as possible. Okay, so sex is going to create all these internal systems that has created evolution within the human species. You don't have this in the animal kingdom. They're having a lot less sex. Their sensory system is hardly there. All right, now their brain is hardly there. Our brain is very, very developed. We can do incredible stuff. Profound it is. The differences are profound. The effects of connection and the affection for each other have profound effects. Okay, this is a fact. All right, so people who are very affectionate are Westerners, are very affectionate. The Europeans, some of the Indians, they used to be, but they've lost this now. So affection is really good. And then in some of the black people, you see people being bad, but then they're also good. They're affectionate, like they've adapted to the modern human way. Affectionate is the human way. However, it's very protective. You mess with that, then you're going to get killed, because affection is very strong. All right, it's got a button. It can press a button and kill your whole country. Right, so I wouldn't try. You see, the affection creates a brain bigger than the other guys. Their brains are working in the animal world, and when they're running, they can only run for literally 10 minutes. So when somebody from the human world, when he runs, is in a car, is invented by a premium, and he's basically now going for weeks on one source of petrol, all right, for a very long time at a very high speed, these days rocket speed. And so this is the capabilities of those with more affection, and those that are not particularly affectionate like this. Well, you are, because you're speaking English. That's part of the affectionate world. You've adapted to the affectionate world, and that's where it gets really important, that people think they're different, they hate him, they hate that, all this rubbish, where at the end of the day, you're either affectionate, you're adaptable, and if you're not, you're in the animal world, and you're a high risk. Okay, so the doctors have got it completely wrong when it comes to advising women. Okay, they're telling them that if they have sex more than once in their life, that they're a whore. Now, that doctor is also advising the Christian and main churches around the world. The main Christian church is advised by doctors and those type of people, and they're saying that all women are whores, and they're to be ignored as well. Okay, so this is what's going on. So it's devastating. So what's happening now is she's getting no connectivity, and guess what's happening next? The guys are now beating her to death because they can't see her, right? The churches have got it wrong. Okay, the doctors are completely wrong. I hate them with a passion, right? Okay, this is about the Doctors Association and the Christian Church, and how the doctors are advising the church on a number of levels, all social attributes. And this is a quick discussion on these doctors and the devastating effect it's had on the church. So the story of attractiveness in a woman and how that affects men's brain, that then makes her safe because she feels unsafe in the first place. So now she's doing everything possible physically and emotionally to make men more attractive and make that connection. So that connection then creates a bigger brain in the guy. right? And the bigger brain has only one priority, and that is security and safety, and she'll be safer. So his real security, or her real security in her guy, is not really in his muscles, it's actually in his brain. So he has to be shrewd and astute in the world full of predators, right? And muscles are not necessarily going to carry on through what she needs, right? For instance, she needs a button. Has he got a button, right? The button will kill the enemy's country as well. Okay, so that's something to think about. But this, oh, one sec. So this discussion is basically about your subconscious, and this is what the subconscious is doing when it comes to attractiveness. And this is where the church has got it wrong, but they've got it wrong because of the doctors, who are basically softy hands, not to be relied on, to be completely ignored, utterly nullified. The reason you need to ignore the doctors that are now advising the Christian church is because these doctors don't even know anything about your brain, yet they're telling women that they're whores because they're attractive, right? And that they're not to act out on this attractiveness. And we're now living in Singleton, Britain, and all women have got lockjaw. Okay, so the importance of this and the problem of these doctors has led to people like Jack the Ripper. All right, so what that doctor's doing, he's guilty. He's guilty of doing this all over the fucking country. Like, everybody in the Christian church is basically a form of blindness, like very dangerous and profoundly bad. Especially if you're a woman, you're vulnerable. Let's not forget the animal world definitely go for the elderly and the kids first. Okay, so when you take the human facility of connection away from the human people, like in Singleton, Britain right now, then this is going to cause a reaction in the body created by, an angry subconscious. Okay, so you're going to have all sorts of depressions and anxieties and mental health problems and ADHD, actually, which is a very mild form of Parkinson's disease. And it's very, very disabilitating. Okay, now this is the problem of no connection. It's basically when you connect, it's going to create nervines in your body, and that's going to help you with your mental health more than any mental health medication. It's going to help you sleep more than any kind of sleep solutions that are being sold right now. Okay, it's going to be much better than that. Okay, it's going to help your social interactions are going to be much more productive and less hostile and costly and pathetic. So the Christian church, or the church basically, they need to learn that they've caused the damage that is now seeing half the world away. All right, now that's because we're blind, and we need to stop doing that. We need that world to develop the human race. Like, out of a large population, there comes a scientist that changes everything. Now, without that large population, you're not going to have that, right? And it will just literally implode. It will not survive. The population is the size it is. It's because of your subconscious. It's decided the size it should be for the optimum position for humans, right? So, technically that's true. I mean, like, we have like one Einstein in many millions of people, and we do need Einstein. Like, certainly Israel needs Einstein. Certainly all the weaponry people need Einstein, right? All the advanced chemical factories and heating systems and all this stuff, they all use like hyperphysics, right? So you need the affectionate people to do that, that then creates that. So the affection creates something called a human brain. Right now, quality of the human brain is resilience, and resilience is needed to create a factory, create an industry, create a business, be innovative, and then employ millions of people, bettering our whole society. So there's a lot to be said. The Christian church has got it wrong. Everybody out there is following the Christian church and all their values, and that women are whores if they're seen to be having sex. You're not allowed to date women on the internet. You're not allowed to date women if you're 35. You're not allowed to date women if you're 50. All right, so you're banned basically, and this is because the doctors and the Christian church have got it completely wrong, and as a consequence, now the bloke is blind to her, and she's getting beaten up by him, and we can't work it out, and the police can't work it out, doctors can't work it out. They don't really care. The doctors don't care. It's their job, and they definitely don't care. They don't know why we're paying them so much. They look, they're worth more than less than a corner shop. The doctors these days. Okay, so. This is the problem where the Christian church has got it completely wrong, being advised by these doctors, softy hands, who's both very, very damaging. Now we're in millions of wars and losing loads of soldiers too. All right. Now the problem we need to do is to the Christians out there need to see the con that they've been handed to them on a plate, and you need to get away from that, create a place that's exactly what is right for you according to your subconscious as well. Include your subconscious for once in your life. Include your subconscious that says attractiveness is a good thing. It's a good thing for education. Let's respect it. In the ancient times, the Stone Age, they literally celebrated this stuff, right? Now it led to places like Amsterdam, Holland. The best universities in the world are from Holland. Einstein went to Holland. Einstein's favourite country is Holland. So it's the most advanced country in Europe. It then went to Germany and then created the car. All right, so the car is basically Indo-Holland and Germany, and there's your car. All right, so and we're basically all the affectionate people. But then, you know, we were all attacked later on when the gays got involved, who are half the world away, not affectionate to women, and the psychopathy that follows. Okay, so these doctors that are advising the church, these doctors, they take their advice from lawyers. Okay, so lawyers also get their advice from doctors, so they're both on the same level. And you know, in my opinion, neither of them are doctors, right? Neither of them should be opening their mouth about other people's lives. I mean, they don't know enough about the heart, the connection between the organs internally. They don't know about your brain. They have no idea about your optical system and how deep that runs in your body. They don't know any of these things. They know about, they're very kind of introspective, kind of manual type of medical robots, basically. And robots written by Softy Hands, who's also very introspective, and he's advising the church to take blood off women. Right now, and that creates Jack the Ripper, who's actually very involved with the Christian church and these doctors. And look at their attitude. Look, and they're advising women to cover up. You know, don't go out. You're living in Singleton, Britain. Don't date. Don't admit you're attractive, but shut the fuck up, is what they're saying. Okay, so the damage that causes is really bad, and I've discovered, and I've written it down, something called a depreciation complex. And when people do this, it has a profound and bad effect. For instance, all the wars right now are all attacking women. Second World War, the Vietnam War, and now the war we're in. All right, so they're blind to them, and we have to do something about this. And it's the church that's doing this, and they're extremely dumb. They're supposed to be very good doctors. They are the best doctors out there are with those Christian churches, but those doctors are, you know, I don't know how to put it. They're manicurists. They're secretaries. They're not real doctors. They're not what you call contributive doctors. Right? Those are the real doctors. The Red Cross. So, the Red Cross are the real doctors out there. They're not softy hands, right? The Red Cross are developed out of frontline surgery, and they became, you know, your hospitals. They're very advanced hospitals are basically your Red Cross surgeons and their teachers are teaching of established surgery in all the hospitals. About 85% of all surgery success is due to the Red Cross. Now, the Red Cross are very good doctors, but they're not advising the church like the other guys are. Softy Hands, right? Who's invented nothing. He is an idiot, right? In the 18th century, the Softy Hands doctors was using drills to drill into people's heads to get rid of diseases. Okay, so Softy Hands is a Twitch show, and he's still running right now. He runs the hospitals. He's in there, all right. Very busy he is, and he's a twit. Yeah, he's running around like a Twitch show. So we talked about this in several videos. So yeah, so the Red Cross are the real doctors, and these other guys are not real doctors. Yet the other guys are the Christian Church, and they're telling women, even though they're attractive, they're not allowed to date. It's a very bad thing, and if you do, you're a whore. And if you do, we're going to send out people to kill you, aka Jack the Ripper is one of these Doctors Association people, and they think they're doing the right thing. They think they're being medical. They think they're being Christian. They're completely wrong, okay? They're wrong on... God will condemn them for that, right? That's a fact. So as you can see, following those people who follow the head of the Christian Church very strongly, you can see they're actually outside of the human world, somewhere else. Now, those people out there who are like me, human, yet love God and women, and everybody out there has zest for life they can't describe. Now, you need to recognise that there is a problem out there, and that problem is actually going to attack you too. So not only do you not know these people, other Christians for instance, they're actually planning your death. All right, now, and you're another Christian. You see, so this is the danger of the Christian Church, right? So you have to be careful. But, a whole load of religions suffer the same plight. I mean, this is a humanity problem, okay? But the Christian Church is the big one, right? And they're suffering all the problems right there, and they shouldn't be. They're the best doctors in the world, so where the fuck are they? So where have the doctors failed us? And they failed the Christian Church too. Well, the doctors don't tell us about this attractiveness procedure from the subconscious, by the way. They don't even mention the subconscious. Ask a doctor about subconscious. He barely can spell it, okay? Now, yet it runs her life. Yet he's telling her how to run her life. Yet his consciousness is barely, it's like a beggar in comparison to something like the subconscious, who's far bigger than him, and he doesn't know anything about it. He's ignorant to it. It should be 75% of his study, yet it's not. And these doctors are advising women on their attractiveness and what to do with it. They're saying to cover it up and go away. That's what they're saying. Now they're encouraging this amongst all the household people, people in domestic situations, women getting bullied from morale that clouds our country coming from these doctors, and they've got it completely wrong, and it needs to change immediately. And it has done. There are millions of people who are not following those procedures. Jack the Ripper, all these type of horrendous psychopathies that are coming from lack of affection. So what affection does is primarily it makes people safer. Right, people will eventually can have a button to kill the enemy's country. So they're safer, reliant, resilient, educated, physics, and then you got a button, and then oh my God, we don't have no enemy no more. You see, this is the good thing about affection, right? And those that lack that affection, they have something called a crocodile syndrome, very similar to a crocodile and dinosaurs. And where are they now? If they're so clever and they were the best, where are they now? So the Christian Church is run by these softy hand doctors, driller killer basically. Now the real doctors, surgeons are surgeons, and surgeons are very, very taught by the ancient world. People like yoga, chakras is basically but the root of today's biology, understanding of biology. Certainly yoga is about 90% biology, right? And the rest is a kind of an extensive spiritual understanding. But majority of yoga is music, is the hospitals, biology, your body, psychology is also Raja Yoga, and that so the real doctors in this world are the Red Cross doctors, and they're what you call contributive doctors. So they're very good doctors, but they've also contributed to the service of helping the surgery service. Whereas Softy Hands is a negative effect, right? He can't do anything contributive, and he's a long way from that. He's too manual based. He's a fake. He's definitely not a doctor. He needs to shut up about that.